4. BBC One only. Garden Rescue. 16 to 17. ETV terrestrial.
Well, the superstar shone on day 6. On day 7, how will Portugal's number 7 respond? Cristiano Ronaldo leads the line at 41 years old for a Portugal side stacked full of ability and also motivated by desire to honour the memory of the late Diogo Jota. It's been 52 years since DR Congo graced the world stage. Sebastian Pizarro has led the Brazilian Leopards back from the wilderness via a dramatic qualification campaign. They've never won, though, or scored at the World Cup. Houston is the venue for the opening game in Group K. It's home to the Texans in the NFL. It's also the scene of Tom Brady's epic comeback when the Patriots beat the Falcons in Super Bowl 51. It's a midday kickoff local time. The roof is on in the stadium. And then about 250 miles north, but still in Texas, Dallas is the venue for the opening game in Group L. England against Croatia at 9 o'clock. UK time, we'll hear from Thomas Tuchel at half-time and bring you his starting 11 a little bit later on as well. Group K, though, is our focus first, and it's the first ever meeting between Portugal and DR Congo. Later on, newcomers Uzbekistan face Colombia. That's 3 o'clock in the morning. You'll be able to watch it on BBC One. With us for this one,
We're watching the England one, we're watching this one.
And we'll hear from them in just a moment. Let's bring you the team news first of all, and we'll start with Portugal. Diogo Costa is in goal, one of 2 Portugal-based players in the side. No Ruben Diaz, he has a minor injury, so that's an untested centre-back partnership. Vitinha and João Neves continue the midfield partnership they have at Paris Saint-Germain. New Real Madrid signing, he signed for them today, Bernardo Silva starts. And then Ronaldo equals Lionel Messi's record of playing in 6 World Cups. For DR Congo, Mpassi played for France at the Under-17 World Cup in Mexico. That was 15 years ago. They have a back 5, and that includes Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Axel Tuanzebe, both relegated from the Premier League last month. Kayemba of Watford has been brought into the midfield. And then up front they have Newcastle's Johan Wissa alongside the 21-goal veteran Cedric Bakambu in attack. When you look at Portugal and all the talent they have, do you think they can win it, as in the tournament, not tonight?
Well, I would say more contenders.
Right.
As I said the other day for England, for me, they have a great team, incredible squad, you know. When you think that Rafa Leao, Trincao, João Felix, Gonzalo Ramos are not playing in a starting 11, you know. And you know, Ronaldo will want to make his own headlines, you know, after seeing Haaland scoring, Mbappe making scoring. Oh, you know, and his great rival Messi scoring a hat-trick. So You know, he's used being center stage, and we want to show the world he's still here.
The other interesting thing when we saw it's a really good mix, isn't it, of experience and youth that Portugal have. But they have a lot of winners. They have a lot of winners, particularly this season.
I think that the one thing they have is continuity. And when I say continuity, it's what we see at club level. You have a lot of players in the starting 11 that knows to play the game that Martinez wants. So, of course, you have the three players from Paris with Enrique, but you also have Cancelo, you have Bernardo Silva, you have Ronaldo, of course, Fernandez. This is important because finally, in the end, it's a way of playing. And on top of that, they have a manager that is very close to that philosophy that we can see with Pep Guardiola and Enrique. So, for me, this is the biggest strength they have. I'm not going to compare it to the Spain side that we've seen with all those players came from Madrid and Barcelona. But in the end, the more players you have, knowing the methodology that the coach wants, enemy of international level is time. They are gaining time because they have players that knows what the manager wants. And I think the quality individually that they have, of course, they're contenders. It's fantastic to see.
Having said all of that, it could easily finish 0-0 tonight because the DR Congo are incredibly resilient.
Yeah, they are. They've kept their clean sheets in the 13 qualifying games, and this is a big challenge for them. And what I like with teams who go into games as underdogs is, and we've seen it already in this tournament, is are they up for the challenge? They're coming into this game hoping to get a point against a fantastic Portugal team. So they've got something to look forward to and something to make history for their country. So it's going to be an interesting game. Of course, we expect Portugal to win the game, but if they can be stubborn and be hard to beat, then I think they'll be excited by this game, especially coming up against, probably Ronaldo, who's, I think, going to time playing.
Well, due to the Ebola outbreak in DR Congo, the team cancelled their training camp there, and they actually had a 21-day bubble in Belgium to prepare for the tournament before they travelled to the US. So the outbreak has made it incredibly challenging for fans to travel to the tournament, but the Congolese diaspora in Houston alone is thought to be more than 10,000. Now, the leopard is a historic symbol of strength, power and resilience, and De Sabra's side have needed all of those qualities and more just to beat.
Being a fan of Congo today is something way deeper than just football. Football in particular has this unifying power that the country definitely needs today more than ever.
The Leopards arrived in style, but the road from Zaire to here has been long and arduous. Axel Tuanzebe's winning goal against Jamaica ended a mammoth qualification campaign and sparked wild celebrations in Kinshasa and beyond.
For the nation, just been so good for the country. We want to start a new chapter for the country, especially on the sporting side, and influence a lot more change and betterment for the country.
The impact of the 1974 World Cup was colossal, both from a sporting and political perspective. Zaire, as DR Congo was then known, became the first African nation to qualify for the World Cup. The tournament in itself turned into a nightmare.
Under the spectre of kleptocratic dictator Joseph Desire Mobutu, they lost 2-0 to Scotland, 9-0 against Yugoslavia, and infamously 3-0 to Brazil.
Whereas back home, the consequences were terrible. The player went from being sources of national pride to national humiliation. They were stripped of their AFCON medals. They were mistreated by the government, and the players were completely abandoned. Today, perceptions have changed. There's a recognition that those players were actually pioneers.
It's been a long half-century for the nation since then. Conflict, upheaval and political unrest. But on the pitch, a dramatic improvement under the guidance of Sebastian de Sarve in the last 4 years has seen increased professionalism and a focus on nurturing talent. There's hope that their appearance here marks the start of another, more positive chapter in their history.
We don't just want to be participants in the tournament. We want to show the development of not just our country, but African football in general, and really be pioneers for future generations.
Synonymous with the team's resurgence is superfan Lumumba Veya. Lumumba lives. who holds a statuesque pose for the duration of their games, in tribute to the country's revolutionary leader, Patrice Lumumba. He's come to represent DR Congo's struggles, a symbol of their stoicism, style, and they would hope, future success.
Football is not the only thing that can bring people in the street with the jersey, with the national flag. From the river in the west to the mountains in the east, it makes Congolese people very, very proud.
I mean, they're the social and political struggles that the country have had over the last 50 years. And not to be trite, but to move on to qualifying, where they had to really fight to get all the way through. Second in their group to Senegal, then playoffs in Africa to get past Nigeria and Cameroon, and then an intercontinental playoff where they beat Jamaica with Axel Tuanzebe, who is a man you know very well from Manchester United days, getting the winner there.
Yeah, I think what they've achieved in reaching this World Cup is incredible. You know, they've overcome some big hurdles from a football point of view, and Axel is someone I know well. Obviously, a young lad into Manchester United Academy, and with lots of potential, very quick, very strong, a real good defender. He has struggled a little bit with injuries throughout his career, so his career hasn't really got started in a consistent way. But you know, for him, I remember speaking to him about representing his country and how proud he was, and you could see that emotion in him when he was younger. So I'm very pleased for him, from a personal point of view, to see him represent his country at a World Cup.
Somebody you know very well, Olivier, from playing at Lille, is Chancellor Mbemba, who was in the Premier League in Newcastle, has over 100 caps for his country.
Yeah, he's a great person, you know, strong mentality, strong personality. He's the captain, the leader of that team, you know, and if they, as mentioned, if they have kept their goal, 8 clean sheets in 13 qualifying games, you know, it's also thanks to him, you know, and he's the big brother of that team.
Did you have quite a strong spine, actually, don't you? If you look at their defence, then you go to their attack, where obviously they have Johan Wissa as well.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. You know, the first season in a new club like Newcastle will always be challenging, and this is where you grow. You know, it's a painful period because you are in a club like Brentford where people expect you to perform, and then you go in a club where you have to challenge to get, you know, minutes. I think his last game where he played more than an hour was against PSV in Champions League, which tell you can't really have momentum going, but you have to go through those periods as a player to grow, and definitely this game could be the game for him because they will probably accept to be giving the ball to Portugal, and with his speed and power, he can cause damage because he's a player over the last 10 years that score goals, and I really hope that he can see a good performance, but he's a top player, and this year he will go for sure.
You'll be thinking as well very quickly, wouldn't you? That's an untested Portuguese central defensive partnership with no Ruben Diaz, so right, let's challenge.
Yeah, but I think what Gail said is right. I think Congo will sit back and they'll be stubborn, be, you know, really well organised and hard to beat. And then they'll be looking, Johan Wissa, you know, went for big money to Newcastle. They'll be looking for him as an outlet, you know, to take the ball, hold on to the ball, saying, let Congo get further up the pitch, but also for his goals, because if they're going to get anything out of this game, I think it will be through Wissa.
Right, Roberto Martinez led Belgium to third place back in 2018. Then he took over Portugal in 2023. They had a really disappointing Euros in 2024, but then last year won the Nations League. He sat down with Kelly Song.
Take one, Roberto Martinez, Portugal. I was born in a family that was reading football. I didn't have any other choice. I was fascinated about being involved in a World Cup. That was one of my dreams as a kid. I think the first World Cup I remember is 78, Argentina, Mario Kempes scoring in the final. And 82 was in Spain, so it was a big impact. So for me, the move to international football was just to experience a World Cup.
Club management and international management, how do those two differ?
International football is about creating good mood, creating a sense of pride in following their dreams. Because when you represent your national team, it affects your family, the neighbors. If you win, the whole country wins. When you lose, the whole country loses.
You've not got a bad couple of players now. Portugal, have you?
I was in Portugal, huge tradition, always created big players through history and always celebrated. Eusebio, Luis Figo, Joaquim, or Rui Costa. It's a tradition in Portugal. They won everything apart from the World Cup. The reference is the third place in 1966 in England. And for us, the inspiration is to try to go one further than what it was done in 66. We got an incredible commitment from the players, from the captain that is 40 years old, to the youngest player that was born the year that the captain made the debut for the national team. So you got a wonderful mixture of generations.
That captain, of course, is Cristiano Ronaldo. What's it like managing him?
It's very easy because his high standards, his expectations of how the work should be done, and his commitment to the game.
It's inevitable.
He's just there, he's a goal scorer, he's an important player for us, and he's the player that he is now that is important for the national team coach. It's not that he's playing because of what he's done in the past. The longevity that he's having in the game is because his standards are incredible on a daily basis, and that helps a lot to set the standards for the rest of the team.
Come on then, Wayne, you know him. Is he sitting there in his hotel room last night as he sees Mbappe score two and think, okay, fair enough, and then sees Haaland score two and think, right, I might have to deliver, and then sees Messi score a hat-trick and think, you are kidding me, right, bring it on.
Oh, he'll be raging.
Will he? Really?
But in a good way, because that's how he's...
You're going to receive a text when
No, but that's how he's pushed himself, and that's his mentality is... Everything's a challenge to him, and I think over the years, him and Messi have pushed each other to get to these levels, and he'll be coming here wanting to win firstly for Portugal to time with the World Cup, but he'll want to be the top goal scorer. So yeah, I think
it will matter to it. I know that's a stupid question, but I know it will.
100%, but in a good way, because that's how he's pushed himself, and when he sees other players scoring goals, and he wants to be best, he wants to be the best, and so that's not in a bad way. He'll want to go out there and score two and score three tonight to show he's still at that level.
As you told me the other night, Olivia, you are, nearly 14 and looking good as well, so you can put yourself in Ronaldo's position.
I'm 40 as well, and I'm looking good.
You are. Sorry, I was going to come back to you on that. All of you are looking good. It's amazing. But with Ronaldo, do you say, right, have an hour, give us what you've got, and then you come on?
Yeah. I think he's got it to play an hour. Obviously, he doesn't have the same legs as before, but his capacity to be efficient, his presence and aura in the box is massive, and his teammates is looking for him. They are looking for him in the box, and he will create, of course, and then you can bring maybe Gonzalo Ramos in. As I said before, he wants to make his own headlights today.
If you look at his numbers, they obviously are down in certain areas throughout the career, because that is what happens as you get older. The interesting thing, I think, is that his touches in the opposition box have actually gone up, because he still scores goals. His goal scoring record is still very good for Portugal.
It's incredible, and when you look, it's natural, it's normal that all these stats are going to come down. His shots, his sprint distance, dribbles, attempted touches, they will all come down. But what he's done well is he knows where he can be effective. So he's not going to be effective now coming deep and getting the ball and trying to dribble past players. Getting in between that goal is where he'll be effective, and you see he's having more chances from doing that. So that's a skill itself, understanding what his strengths are.
There's a stat though, which says he didn't score in open play in the two last major national tournaments in open play.
Well, he has a point to prove there as well, doesn't he? But then he scored 40. Then he scored 15 in his last 14 qualifiers. So you can take your pick, but you can't you, Olivia? You can take your pick of which ones you want.
143 goals in national team. What about me with my 57? I was saying.
What's impressive, really, we've been players, and Olivier is still playing, but for me, the impressive stuff with him is that he was able, every 5 years, 10 years, to reinvent himself. It's not given to everybody. First, because you need to be able to want to change. You need to be able to have the quality to change. It needs a lot of work, because he used to be a winger. I played against him, you played with him. He used to take the piss out of people. And he went from that to straight box player and scoring goals. And you have to give credit for that because it's not easy. You have to want to do it. And for me, it's a great example for football. I think it changed the way we see football because...
Guide. All channels. MOTD line. Portugal v Dr. Congo. 1, 2, 3. ITV1. FIFA World Cup 2026. England v Croatia. Audio. MOTD line. Portugal v Dr. Congo. Audio description. 1730 to 2030. 1. BBC One Unruly. Synopsis. Live coverage of the opening match in Group K as Portugal face the Democratic Republic.
To be attacking.
Oh, if, I'm going to see what I'm going to say, but if you...
Volume 10.
He can do pretty much everything from his left back position. He can open up doors that nobody can do. He's fast, he's powerful. I used to have like a question mark about his way of defending, but he was so young. And in the end, football is about meetings. Life is about meetings. And when you meet someone like Enrique, who has done, not because they've done back-to-back Champions League, but what he's achieved as a Spanish coach, what he's done in Barcelona, it's a blessing for a young player to be tough day after day by someone like him. So I think today you don't get to perfection, but he's a very much a complete player. It's a joy to see because he's efficient, he's regular, you know, he can play game after game, and he's winning, and that's what you want.
Bruno Fernandes, wow. Vitinha, I love him, MVP of the final, Champions League final. I was there, I watched him. He makes PSG tick, and yeah, he's the glue of that midfield, you know, that every single team would love to have. I love that midfield.
You know, his options are crazy, aren't they? I mean, I know a lot of international managers have a ridiculous number of options, but that in many ways could be Martinez's biggest challenge in this tournament.
Yeah, I think we've seen last night about France as well, the quality of players. You have England as well, you know, you can have a B team with France, a C team. And Portugal are very similar. You've got a huge array of talent, and the challenge, obviously, as you said, for Martinez is to pick the right team, make the right subs at the right time. I think is very important in the World Cup. But when you look at that squad of players, then they have to be one of the favourites to win the tournament.
Wayne, Olivia Gale for the moment. Thank you. Don't forget you can watch every game in Ultra HD on iPlayer. Let's head over to Houston now and join our commentary team, Danny Murphy, and first of all, afternoon to Steve Bauer.
Hi, Mark. Welcome, everyone, to Southeast Texas at the Houston Stadium, which was the first NFL stadium to be built with a retractable roof, and that is in full use today, with Houston on flood alert for the third successive day. So the roof is closed, the air conditioning is on, and the stage is set for Cristiano Ronaldo. As we were discussing after the hat-trick and headlines of Messi, what part is he going to play? Last year's Nations League finalists and winners Portugal begin their World Cup campaign. Another magnificent arena in this World Cup. It's hard to say so many Portugal shirts, but it really is so many Ronaldo shirts. Nothing but number 7 in red wherever you look. As we pause for the two national anthems. 52 years since they have played on the world stage. Replacing the man for the most caps and goals in world football. Emotional shot during the Portuguese anthem there. The parents in attendance today of Diego Jota. Starting 11s where the football in England. Some of his best players core this DR Congo team reach the heights at this stage of their time in over half a century. The man in the middle today is from Qatar, Abdurrahman Al Jassim. He's at his third World Cup, the 28-year-old. His fellow countryman, Hamis Al-Mahi, is in charge of the VAR, assisted by Venezuela's Juan Soto. Well, Portugal have such high expectations in this tournament. Only 3 players actually remain from their starting 11 that lost the World Cup quarter-final 4 years ago. And crucially that day, Cristiano Ronaldo didn't start, but he does lead them today, and he becomes the oldest outfield player to start a World Cup match at 41 and 132 days old, as he appears at his 6th World Cup. And that midfield features the Champions League winning pair of Coutinho and Chan Neves and the Manchester United captain Bruno Fernandes. DR Congo named 4 Premier League players in the lineup, including Burnley's Axel Twanzebe, whose 100-minute winning playoff goal against Jamaica secured their place here. Johan Visser arrives here on the back of the fewest starts in his career, just 1 in the last 22 Newcastle games of the season. Watford's Eddie Klemba starts in midfield, with Sunderland's Noah Siddiqui on the bench, Wan-Bissaka and Masuaku on the wing backs. 68,000 in Houston. Second of 7 games in this wonderful arena. And the first in 52 years for DR Congo. Back in 1974, they were known as Zaire. They lost all 3 group games, with a goal difference of -14. This side they were expecting not only to win today, but to go deep into this tournament. Sebastian de Sabra, 4 years in charge, as his reward as the coach of DR Congo. Here we go then, we're almost set. The city of Houston, home of the world-famous rodeo. Cristiano Ronaldo at 41 enters his last chance World Cup saloon. Can Portugal get close to helping him to the crowning achievement of his career? And wherever he is, whether he starts or not starts, then he is always the talk of the town.
Well, he's a phenomenal talent, and he's earned the right to be here. I still think there's some magic moments left in him. The greatest players always bow out, don't they, with magical moments. And with the creative force behind him of Bruno Fernandes, arguably the best number 10 in world football at the moment, he's got a good chance, especially in games against so-called lesser opposition, to get some goals. And certainly wouldn't surprise me if we see him
grab one or two this evening.
And he will know full well that he has gone 9 days at major tournaments without scoring a goal. Difficult group stage, so let's see if he can add to that tally. 8 World Cup goals today. Or in your role position, would you say Portugal have the best midfield combination in the tournament?
I think so. We've seen many times how they dictate, dominate games with their technical ability and their precision. Two wonderfully gifted players, not actually that particularly physical, but because they're so good technically, it doesn't matter. There's going to be long periods in this game where DR Congo don't have the ball because of those two players for sure. And just to add something to it, of course, you've got Bruno there with Bruno Fernandes just ahead of them, so good luck.
Just because Ronaldo has his first touch. Cancelo. Ruben Diaz isn't being risked at the back for Portugal today. Quite right. And a hamstring injury. So this man, the former Chelsea defender Vega, is in alongside Araujo. João Cancelo. Bernardo Silva, now both of course former Manchester City players. Nuno Mendes. In for Bruno Fernandes. Well, he was chancing Bamba. That's a bit of relief from the foul.
Yeah, they missed out on good opportunities to get the ball in the box with Cancelo on one side. Ronaldo made 2 or 3 runs. He's one of the best headers of the ball in the world as we know. Just getting a few in there early.
He's not a Samba player, but he spent a season he'd known France for long, slipping into a runners-up spot. Pulling possession, and here's Bamba. Assessing his options, back to Bruno Fernandes. Just his 6th cap today. Benfica defender, didn't appear at all in the qualifying stages. Didn't reach Ronaldo. Vega's header out of play.
It's going to be important for Portugal to keep that tempo up, speed of play, speed of passing, get some runners. The temperature here this evening is much cooler this morning, well, this afternoon, sorry, getting mixed up, maybe different time. But it's a cooler temperature.
20 degrees inside with the aircon on.
Yeah, makes a big difference.
Coutinho. Cancelo in space. Portugal flooding the box here. No snapper away for DR Congo. Back to Coutinho. And there's the penalty flag. João Neves. Perfect start for Portugal. It's taken them less than 6 minutes.
crosses, didn't we? Just one before that, Cancelo, and then Neto putting this one in. Neves, we've seen him do this a few times this season. He times his run perfectly. Terrific header into the far corner. But if you're going to drop so deep like DR Congo are, camp in your own box and allow teams to put crosses in, you've got to defend better. But it's brilliantly timed.
Has destroyed DR Congo's game plan. The only exchanges.
Well, they've got three big centre-halves, and they'll have expected some defensive crosses, but one of the smallest men on the field to get in is poor, really, but he is good at it. We've seen him do it before. PSG quite a few times this season.
He has got a hat-trick in qualifying against Armenia from midfield, Jean Neves. Kumbu for DR Congo. Couldn't reach Wan Bissaka. 5 minutes, 33 seconds. That's all it took. Nation League winners. Salaku's cross blocked. Structure there from Sebastian de Sabra, who incidentally in his 4 years in charge has never lost a game by more than one goal. Might be put to the test today.
Certainly will, and what you always talk about before a game, especially against a team with better personnel, and you know they're going to have the ball, stay tight, be compact, stay concentrated. All of a sudden you're a goal down with a mountain to climb.
Second fastest goal of the tournament so far. Both the top two come in this stadium, not just one for Germany. A few seconds quicker. Scorer Jean Neves. Never challenge on the goal scorer, he put it brilliantly. It's Mendes, the chase. Offside favours up. It's terrific to see so much African representation in this tournament, because remember DR Congo were competing in 1974 in Zaire. They were the only African team taking part. 10 here at this tournament. Inside the goalkeeper with the clearance.
One. BBC One unruly. MOTD.
Good from DR Congo, much better. Wan Bissaka involved, important that they get the wing backs high when they can to try and give support to that front two. Wissa tries his luck there with his weak cross, not a bad effort, just can't quite wrap his foot around it. Give them a little bit of confidence.
Too much football, as I was mentioning, Vissel in the build-up to a World Cup. Start the last 22 Newcastle games.
Yeah, I've been really surprised by that because obviously the season before he was terrific, wasn't he? At Brentford had his best season, and I know he started the season at Newcastle with injury, but he's been fit for quite a while, sat on the bench. Again, he's big games, you need to have 6, 8 games to get your rhythm, and he was never given that opportunity, but I think he could still do well there next season.
This one is going to be penalised. He's going to be shown a yellow card. Jakarta.
I mean, he's not shot at Bernardo Silva in tackling, that's for sure. Just catches it, doesn't he? A little bit on the follow through. I still think early in the game it's a bit of
Robinson.
Temperature in Tranmere, Watford. First yellow of the day.
I look left that way though. The 1-0 up could be a little bit more careful, but he's still so fired up, still wants to do all the hard work and then put his foot in. Look at him still, he's chasing. Just unbelievable mentality.
Well, look at this. Campbell. And he's still deflected for a DR Congo corner.
Great feet. Nice and confident, wasn't he? Found that little bit of space here, the little turn, lovely, and again. Good play from the Congo.
Oldest player ever to represent his country at World Cup is 35, the better striker. So the first corner of the game is DR Congo's. From Asawaku. That left foot to deliver it low. A bit off. Portugal off the ball looking for a free kick there. They couldn't get it for a foul on Pedro Neto. Sideways. A little more encouraging.
Yeah, it's not been a bad reaction to the goal actually. What was good there is this is determination to go win that ball back after the corner didn't go well. I think they were trying to do the one we've seen Bournemouth succeed at a couple of times this season. Little flick back, just wanted to shoot, but no.
Just taking reality to a top 3 finish in Spain. Someone from Chelsea.
the centre-half just waiting for the ball to be either crossed in or into his feet inside the 18-yard box.
Crossed in, yeah. He was with the bicycle kick in mind. Stayed in there, away by Masuaku. And clear to this. Mukam. Good play.
Keep the ball.
Silo to win it back. Bruno Fernandes, Nuno Mendes. He's got the pace, has he got the finish? No passing was required. It's still not clear. It's Bernardo Silva sliding in. And Bruno Fernandes delivering.
Puts a pass that is time and time again. He sees the runners. Makes the right decision. He's brave with his passing. Technically brilliant. He's got that vision that very few players have. He spots the runners. Wan-Bissaka's great recovery tackle actually on Mendes. As soon as Fernandes gets the ball, you need runners because if Feinge arguably had the best season of his career, his confidence is up, getting the ball, things will happen.
Those 21 Premier League assists, breaking the record.
I think it's his durability as well. You know, he's available every week. Never goes missing, even through the bad times he was there. Trying to make things happen, trying to carry his team.
Nuno Mendes. Coutinho, really jumping to the final man of the match.
I think he tends to get man of the match probably 9 out of 10 games he plays. 9 out of 10.
Not the worst reputation to have. John Neto's off. Delivered by the captain, Chintu Bamba, the former Newcastle man. Always in charge of that one. centre-halves can actually come out on occasion when only Ronaldo's in there, but they're so safe at the moment, they're so worried about the space.
Mendes. Reaching it from Bruno Fernandes.
Good reaction though. Good reaction.
Offers the first half hydration break, which isn't that applicable today, with the room shut and the air conditioning on and a temperature just over 20 degrees. Pitch side. Portugal have the lead. Remember, later on England begin their campaign against Croatia, and you can listen to it live on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. And then straight after the final whistle, you can head to iPlayer for the live reaction show. Chatters with Wayne Rooney, Joe Hart, and Micah Richards. And if you want to see the match from every angle, you can follow Ronaldo and all the other players move, or even see the action through his eyes. You can scan that QR code to win a World Cup 3D experience in the BBC Sport app. So 1-0 Portugal, goal inside 6 minutes. Wayne, what have you made of it?
Yeah, I think the game's been pretty much what we thought. Portugal with a lot of possession, moving the ball from side to side, and then they get the early goal. And Congo they've had a couple of half opportunities, which we feel if they're going to get anything out of the game, these are big moments for them. They really need to take them. I've been really intrigued with Cristiano Ronaldo with his positioning. A lot of the game he's standing in offside position. Now that's not him being lazy, that's him being very clever. He's making the Congo defence have to search for him, which is leaving space for his teammates, but also when the ball goes out wide, he can get back into the onside position and cause real problems. So he's at 13 touches, but he's much more effective when the ball comes in the box. So just something to keep an eye on his positioning. I think it's really clever from him.
Thanks, Wayne. That was really interesting. So Roberto Martin was actually talking about that yesterday. Not just his goals, not just being a killer, but the space he creates for his teammates.
Yeah, well, when he's really disciplined by occupying those three, and Wayne's right, he's hovering sometimes behind, and he drops in occasionally off the back of the shoulder. And he's wise, he's been round the block, he knows he doesn't want to exert too much energy, making big, long runs, so he's just waiting for that opportunity. Occasionally he's come and linked. They get crosses in the box. With the quality they did for the goal, Ronaldo will thrive on that. That's the key. At the moment, with 5 at the back and the midfielders in front, there's not really much space to squeeze things through to him. So they need to get some crosses at them. Aerially, he's wonderful. So that's where he'll get his joy.
Well, in the Euro qualifiers, they actually averaged the second most crosses into the penalty area than any other nation. Roberto Martinez with clear instruction down there at the moment. As he knows, as you say, if the service arrives, what the end result will be.
Well, you get the ball to your best players and your best passers, and you get runners, you'll get goals. Bruno's one of the best passers in the business. Keep getting him the ball and as soon as he get those runners. That's another way of opening them up. We saw it when they nearly got the second goal. And the tempo's key. Speed of play. Don't let them off the hook. Don't let them sit in there and have it easy. Keep moving the ball quick, because when you're in that defensive side, shuffling across time and time again, it's exhausting.
You're still on the point where it's worked out that you don't have to make those long runs. You worked that out about the age of 21, not 41.
That's correct, yeah.
Very true.
You probably opening one.
Cancelo.
Ball's quicker anyway, you know that, when you're playing tennis.
Absolutely. Your mind was quicker.
Yeah.
Granted, there's a few out there with quick minds in the Portugal team. How far do you think they can go?
They can win it.
Really?
Yeah, they're one of the teams that can win it. I think especially when you're playing in the heat.
Now then, Pedro Neto, Ronaldo bursting in. Didn't reach it. Portugal's first corner. Sliding in was Chancellor Mbemba instead.
Yeah, not the best cross from Neto, but good break from Portugal. Yeah, I was going to say with the heat and the possession they have with the technical boys in midfield. It's a clever run. I think he's just on. Wasn't really on that ball. I think he had to take it in a little bit more. Be a bit more patient there.
Short to Nuno Mendes. Lifted in by Bruno Fernandes. Played by Mukau. Bruno Fernandes was the last man there under pressure from Congo. Araujo. Ronaldo's asking for it from Cancelo, and in fairness, he tried to find him.
Great effort. That's exactly what I'm talking about. As soon as you get that bit of space, have a look, and he'll be making a run. He'll be giving you an option, Ronaldo. Just a tiny bit ahead of him.
He's Portugal's oldest goal scorer. Pepe watching on. Ronaldo will beat that if he registers in this tournament.
Pepe, he was always calm and composed, wasn't he? Not. Great player though. Brilliant player.
Wan-Bissaka. Only looking for this. This is encouraging. Mukau. Wan-Bissaka's cross. Played by Cancelo. Given away straight to Bruno Fernandes. Who hits that one first time. Just a fraction too strong for Neto.
They had good numbers in the box, the Congo there. And when Wan-Bissaka put it in, they had 3 or 4 in there, which was good to see. Just the quality of the ball wasn't quite there from him.
Capaldi. Just penalised.
This is encouraging the players to get up behind him, just to have a press for a few minutes. I like that. Doesn't matter if you give the odd foul away. Let them know they're not going to have it all their own way. Give a few fouls, take a few yellows, whatever you need to do. Let them know they're in a game. Don't let them just dictate pass, pass, pass. I like that. I don't mind it.
Diego Costa. Neto down holding his face. Chancellor Mbemba, who's pleading his innocence, the captain of DR Congo, is going to be shown the yellow card. Most capped player, 110th appearance today.
him there, little pull on the shirt. To be honest, I think the referee's just given it because of Neto lying on the floor holding his neck. It's a ridiculous yellow. I think Mbemba agrees with me, doesn't he?
100%. And that's given Portugal a set play opportunity. Ronaldo's on the move, didn't reach him, cleared by Mbemba. To Mukama. Kapami. Shooting opportunity was there.
Good move, well structured, calm, composed at the back. Played out, got him in the space there. It's a lovely little take from Kayemba. Worth a go. Didn't have any conviction in it. Good move from Del Congo.
Closed down by Congo. There's the closing down from Vista again on Costa.
It's much better, isn't it? Not all the time, but on occasion, get numbers up when you're set and then have a press. Put people under pressure. Doesn't matter how good you are, people make mistakes.
Ramazan. It was actually in an England squad 7 years ago. It didn't appear. Got a cap. His 13th for DR Congo today. So Neves, the goal scorer dispossessed. That's Portugal's throw.
Yeah, there's the shot. Just dragged it. I mean, no zip in it. Little deflection to the goalkeeper. He was in a good, got himself in a really good position with a bit of space.
Costa. Neves off and running. Will it reach him? Almost.
Great ball. It's those runs behind that do the damage. Coming from deep or wide areas, much harder to pick up for that back three of your Congo.
Fernandez with a charge. Portugal's only attempt on target is the goal. That's the difference from this man, João Neves, who's been fouled by Kayemba.
They've done well, DR Congo, to actually compose themselves after the goal. I think they've done all right. Got themselves up the pitch a few times. Grown in confidence on the ball, a bit more belief in themselves maybe early in the game, a little bit more nervous, understandably, I suppose.
huge moment for a country with the fourth biggest population in Africa, over 110 million. All eyes will be on this game. Just think it's almost textbook equivalent or an ex-FA Club, but Nuno Mendes is onside, there's no flag. João Neves wants the pull back. Cancelo, it's a wasted opportunity for Portugal. Oh, they're going to have another one. Such a poor Williams again. João Neves. Waits patiently on the edge of the penalty area. Bruno Fernandes hits one. It's up for DR Congo. Congo. Lost momentum there.
Didn't have the options though, to be fair to him. It's the right decision if you're not sure.
Comfortable move by Vega.
Yeah, another outstanding ball, wasn't it, from Bruno Fernandes? Just seeing those pictures again. Mendes it was, I think, getting him down that left-hand side. Makes it look so easy.
Just thought about Cancelo. To Araujo instead. Bruno Mendes. Jonathan Fernandes. Xavi not taking any risks.
He's great, Mendes, with his forward passing. He likes to look up and risk the ball and try and make progressive passes, which isn't always the way full-backs. Very good.
Inside the final 5 minutes of the first half. So quickly closed down by Masuaku. DR Congo free kick. Portugal have lost within 11 of their last 12 World Cup matches. And after that early goal, many might have thought they would have had more than one by now.
Yeah, I think we all did. We all felt that was hopefully good that it's a little bit, because they looked nervous, didn't they, DR Congo in the early stages. As I said, they've recovered well, and inevitably Portugal have taken their foot off the gas a little bit because they've got that goal. They can keep possession a little bit more, conserve energy, but they'll want to get that second, that's for sure. Give themselves some breathing space.
Jesus forgets he won that goal once to score. Obviously, Messi had that playing hard in the tournament yesterday. eventually keep that in. Want to talk about his future in the build-up to this game. He's got a contract at the end of the tournament, which the Portuguese Federation had to release a statement yesterday, testing all the focus was on winning this tournament and nothing else.
Well, there's certainly been lots of admirers, that's for sure.
I'm sure he's expecting that. He's there to pop in the air.
Well, he got lucky. Wasn't the best ball to him, but didn't deal with it very well, and they nearly got caught out. The thing is with that young man, he won't stop getting on it, he won't stop demanding the ball and taking it under pressure, even if he does lose a couple. Phenomenal appetite to dictate play and get on the ball, irrelevant of the pressure, irrelevant of the size of the game. It's phenomenal.
Last 5 years, João Neves is senior. João Neves actually been the third youngest Portuguese player to score a World Cup today. Still the only goal that separates the two nations here in Houston. Portugal are now up to 500 touches in this first half.
Only a couple of attempts that I can recall, though.
Cancelo, will it change here? Bernardo Silva. Tried to fashion too long, it's still alive. No, it isn't. With Coutinho. 1 minute of normal time at the end of the first half. Nothing doing there for Cancelo.
Punch at the beach run into it. He can be somewhat dramatic when he goes down, Cancelo.
Lucao. Move to Sam. Move to Sam, he thought about the shot and actually hit his own player and just committed the foul.
Well, Mutusami never looked comfortable, did he? Certainly wasn't any belief or conviction in that shot. I don't think he's actually scored for his country. There's the dive of Cancelo, wanted an obstruction which wasn't given.
4 minutes of added time. Cap of Lille gets the Congo the throw. Sea of red wherever you look today. We were actually looking for some time in the pre-match build-up for one Portugal shirt that didn't have a number 7 on its back. I don't think we succeeded, did we?
It's a bit like the Egypt game, wasn't it, the other day? The Salah shirts.
Yeah. Comic figures.
I actually stopped Ronaldo getting a red card once. Got a bit angry full of Man United game and they were losing. He plunged in and nearly silly tackle, but I didn't go down because he didn't really catch me.
Did he say thank you?
Nope.
hope we get that on afterwards and see if I'm saying it very well.
I don't blame them if they're not. We're not saying thanks. When you're angry on a football pitch, the world's against you.
That's the record. Now, a chance for Congo to turn. Can Congo make anything of this? Masuaku. It was a feeble effort again. The Wita Sami was deflected though.
Had the ball, wasn't it, from Saka actually? Masuaku, sorry. Steady with me in the cross, he just toes it to the edge of the box and you just think there, maybe take it first time, but he doesn't, takes it first time, but he can't quite wrap it around. Again, the numbers forward.
So DR Congo's second corner, final minute of stoppage time, taken by Masuaku. Tanzania went to ground. And Bamba. We've got another one after Bruno Fernandes's challenge. That's when the DR Congo skipper felt.
I think he twisted his own ankle when he fell. I don't think it was anything to do with Fernandes. Just seemed to stay in the ground as his momentum went forward a little bit, the right one.
Looks unbalanced, he doesn't want to lose his skipper, the most capped player. Gently back on his feet.
Well, that's that plays a good opportunity. Portugal aren't the biggest team in the world, that's for sure. They've got one or two big ones. Real chance for them to get good quality ball in. Certainly got the bigger team.
It's not sure to Mukau. Eventually in. After such a frustrating Premier League campaign, Visser has a World Cup goal.
Subana, we were just talking about it, the lack of physical presence in there other than the two centre-halves really. They're working short, they're onside, there's an overload in the back. I think it's Bruno that gets caught between two, but it's a super header. There's in oceans of space. Not sure where Rao's doing, but
Sebastian de Sabre can't believe it, and that is the last touch of the first half. Look at the reaction. Look what it means to them. And that has shocked Portugal, who had the early lead 5 minutes 33 seconds in. But the Leopards of DR Congo have brought back right on the stroke of half-time. We're in Houston. It is now Portugal 1, DR Congo 1.
Well, what a goal for Johan Wissa, and maybe when you look at some of the stats from that first half, still don't have that much of the ball, but they've actually had more attempts on goal, of which 2 have been on target. And they've done well, Olivier, in that first half, because the early goal, you suddenly thought, well, they could be under the car.
80% of possession is massive, but we did expect
this kind of scenario, if I can say. Congo sitting deep, not leaving too much space behind and between the lines for Portugal to find a solution in the pockets. They started well again, Portugal, with a great header from João Neves. We've done it many times in Ligue 1 in France. Well, and after they fall asleep a little bit, and you know what? Congo has been very brave and created chances, and I think at the end it's well deserved.
And tactically, let's go back to the start and look at the Portuguese goal first of all, because tactically they've worked on doing just this kind of thing to engineer the own.
Yeah, when you play against a back five with a three in the middle, often you have two solutions. Either you have guys that can dribble pass one-on-one, or you can find that space. You see the run here, Bernardo Silva to attract the fullback, to leave the opportunity to cross more space, and you can see the same here. The position of Mendes here is frozen the right back. He cannot take a chance to go forward. He's late for the cross, and this is what Portugal wanted to do from the very first minute. And this is the space they are going to explode. But I think it's well done, it's well worked, and after that, like Wilde said, they just fell asleep a bit.
So if you bring the right back inside, they allow your wide man to have space, or if you bring your wide man inside, you can leave your fullback.
That's the space you want to use as a team when you play against the back five and free the middle, because you have to decide if you want to protect the middle or if you want to use your legs to kind of open up and block those crosses. And when you have players like Portugal can have, and the choice is decision making, and they will hurt you, and they score well on that situation.
You look at Ronaldo in that goal though, don't you, and what he's doing to kind of occupy the centre half.
Yeah, it's what I spoke about in the hydration break, and it's happened quite a few times during the first half, which I'll show more of. But yeah, if you just keep an eye on Cristiano Ronaldo in his position, so he's in the centre of the goal. You know, from that, if you're watching the defence of Congo and watching Ronaldo's no thought about getting back inside. It's a very clever position because he's holding the position, he's making the Congo defenders have to look for him. Now, Tunisia just drops because he's worried about Ronaldo, and Neves gets across him into the space with Tunisia is dropping. He's worried about Ronaldo, and that creates the space for the goal. So it's really clever.
Or even just by being that 2 yards off, and the goal shows it a little bit more, he confuses the defenders. That's the Lisbon fan park there, which looks spectacular in the Lisbon sunshine. So take us through more of this movement, or in some ways maybe lack of movement.
Yeah, it's so intelligent, and it's really intriguing because if you look at the Congo defence, they're always worried where he is, and now he comes back on side. Nothing actually comes of this, but he's always threatening, he's always making them aware, making them have to look, making them have to search for him. Again here, he's in an offside position, now he runs offside, but they're always looking for him. Now this allows a deep run from Mendes to run in behind because the Congo defence are worried about him, and you can't see him. If you can see Cristiano Ronaldo, you know you control him. If you can't see him, you can't control him, and it's very difficult, but he's creating a lot of space for his teammates here. And again here, he's in an offside position, and this is what I'm talking about. Now he gets back on side, possibly offside, but nearly back on side, and this is exactly what he's looking for. And if he keeps doing this, he will punish Congo if he allows him to keep doing this.
I think why he was so free is because the two centre-backs were ball watching and taking care of Ronaldo in behind their back. So it allowed João Neves to be free and to head the ball like almost without duel. Two centre-backs, you could see they were ball watching and they were not aware about João Neves' position, who comes from behind.
But to bounce back on what Wayne said, this is what we said before the game about Ronaldo, the intelligence he has to evolve, to make his game evolve, and finally he knows he hasn't got the legs anymore to beat someone one-on-one, so he has to be behind to make the defense drop, and then he will always kind of be in front of the defender. And you see the first chance they had when the defender just got back, tackle and put the ball in corner. This is okay, people will say, oh, it's obvious, but it's very intelligent, it's experience, and this is how you kind of maintain your momentum as a 41-year-old player. I respect that very much.
But when you're a young defender, if you always get control. If you can see the number of the centre forward, you're in control of the centre forward. So what Ronaldo's doing, he's taking that option away from defenders. He's standing behind them, then they're looking over the shoulders like, where is he? And then they drop, and then it creates a lot of space in front of the back four. It's really clever.
Let's take a look at the equaliser, because we talked about Wissa, didn't we? Pre-match.
Well, we didn't expect him to score in that sense,
No.
but we knew, I think Wayne and Oliver said it, he is the guy that will make Congo get something out of the game. And here you can see the overload, it's a 3 against 2. And that's why yesterday we spoke about France and Olise being so deep that he cannot be effective. It's exactly the same situation here with Bruno Fernandes being there to defend. You don't want your guys that create magic up the field to defend in that zone. So of course sometimes you have to do it, but this is what happened. 3 against 2, 3 headers, 1-1.
It's a great header, isn't it? I'll get you that. Their celebs are great as well. We're going to go back to the Lisbon fan park, because there's a group of Congo fans there right in the middle, right in front of the screen. That's absolutely fantastic. It's a great header, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a good timing.
Look at that, that's fantastic.
Both of the crosses were good, metals were not so space on the ball, and you just have to have a good timing, hit it properly with precision. And one more time for not a tall guy, João Neves is heading really well.
2 good headed goals. Do you take a look at the other DR Congo chances, because they've had more than Portugal?
Yes, they had more clear chances, but this is what we said, they're going to leave the ball and they're going to use with their strength, and their strength is purely legs, ability to carry the ball up the field, he's the ball carrier. Of course they're going to cross, can they do something better? It's just a matter of the execution, but here, this is a perfect shot. Finally it's a 7 against 2, not far. Great effort, I would say. The second one is even more clearer, and this is where, when you have time to work with your player, you will tell them what to do. And here, for me, everything is perfect. The first touch is great. The shot is great. Here, you want to use that space. Why? Because if you do use that space, the centre back will have to follow with the ball. The right back will have to follow the second striker. You go in the back, and hopefully if the execution is good and the collectivity of the team is performing, you have a chance on goal.
This is decision making, and I think when you get opportunities like this for Congo, I think it's very important to try and take it, because if you get your decision making right, then they might be tired because the defender will have to go from side to side, and then they end up snatching up chances. But if you just show a little bit more composure, you make the right decision, you can really help.
Well, we've seen that yesterday with Senegal against France. They can go 2-0 up, and you will not have many chances. And like you said, the word you use, to be composed on the decision making is just crucial. And win the game.
We will see. The second half is on the way. England, after the second half, they get their campaign underway, and they're leaving the hotel there. They're facing Croatia in Dallas in the opening game of Group L. Here's Thomas Tuchel with Kelly Songs.
Thomas, 18 months after taking over, the World Cup is finally here. You know the remit, don't you? What you've got to do.
Yeah, I know the job ahead. I'm very happy that we're finally here. Finally, I have a team, and I have them for weeks, and I have them 24/7. Makes me a happy person because I can be a coach, and so I love it.
I wanted to ask you how you want Thomas Tuchel's England to play. Can they play the way you want them to play, given the condition?
Yeah, we try to play into the strengths of the players. They want to be active. We have a young group, we have a courageous group, we have a brave group of players. So let's go for it. I'm just not ready to adapt into a different style of football because of circumstances that we cannot influence. I think we would just give up our strengths.
What's been your toughest selection call?
The toughest was a reduction from the 55 to the 26. There were some really tough phone calls.
What about the 26 to the 11? That's a tough one as well.
Actually, at the moment, I'm not so worried about it because we're in the beginning of World Cup. There will be players who compete on highest level on one position. They compete with each other. They compete for starting place. Every football player wants to start, but they know for this tournament, if they're not selected as a starter, there's always a chance to make an impact from the bench. No team has ever won that without the energy from the bench, without the energy from players who come from the bench, without the guys pushing from the sideline and making it possible and creating an atmosphere that it can be more than just 11 players.
Oh, Thomas, how are you feeling? This is your first major tournament as an international manager. You've managed so many games.
Yeah, I managed so many games. I'm very calm at the moment. I'm a bit surprised about myself. I'm very happy to be a coach. Like I said in the beginning, I turned around in the plane. I have a plane full of players. When we arrived in the US, finally you're a coach and you can start coaching and you know, the atmosphere around players and in the dressing room is for me one of the best cultures and one of the best places to be around. So I'm in a good place. I'm excited to go. I'm ready to push and support. Hopefully we can see it.
We'll talk England a little bit more at full time. We'll tell you who Thomas Tuchel has selected in his starting 11 and then full commentary of the game on 5 Live and BBC Sounds from 9 o'clock. And then Wayne will be with us again after the game alongside Joe Hart and Michael Richards, and we'll do all the reaction and the analysis from the match in Dallas. Then the other game in Group L sees Ghana take on Panama, and that's also live on 5 Live and BBC Sounds from midnight. Uzbekistan against Colombia is the other game in this group, Group K, that we're focusing on at the moment, and that is on BBC One and the iPlayer from 10 to 3 in the morning. And as always, if you don't stay up to watch that, you can catch up with it later in the morning with no spoilers. Head to BBC iPlayer for all the hunt.
Give it up with the greatest of all time.
It may be possible. Feels like it was possible.
Your superstar lineup of unforgettable characters.
It's called an earthquake behind us.
And absolute icons.
The stakes couldn't be higher. Please do continue to enjoy yourself.
From football legends to TV royalty, watch them all on BBC iPlayer.
Sweating. Also, I wasn't speaking out.
The real tragedy of being afraid is pain.
I am delivering dreams.
Nothing is out quite right. We've got too early. Keep going. Keep believing.
Dear England, watch now on BBC iPlayer.
Then let's get back to Houston. Portugal 1, DR Congo 1 at half-time. Back to Danny Austin.
Mark, thank you. Reminder, if you're watching any of the World Cup matches live or enjoying the highlights on BBC iPlayer, don't forget you do need a TV licence. You can scan that QR code now on your screen to buy. Cristiano Ronaldo in shot there. 16 touches in that first half, Danny, and 2 of those were at kickoff.
Yeah, I'm never really interested in the amount of touches forwards out. We've seen those stats many times with Haaland, Kane, Lewandowski. It's the goals that matter. They have to be disciplined. They have to play the role. They have to stay high up the pitch. This is the offside for the onside for the goal before. Clearly onside, but it was the amount of space he was in, wasn't it?
Johan Visser played 539 Premier League minutes this season and scored 1 goal. He's played 49 World Cup minutes and scored 1 goal.
He actually got some really good power on that head. Made it look easy, it certainly wasn't.
And an awful lot of fans very happy down there. Roberto Martinez has sent Portugal out very early here for the second half.
Yeah, might give him a little rocket to up the tempo.
And Francisco Costa is going to be introduced by Roberto Martinez at half-time, the Juventus player. This is 9th goal for DR Congo, no more memorable than that, with the very last touch in that first half to get his country level. So here's Conceição to come on for his 18th cap. It is Bernardo Silva who is
parte. Conceição for Bernardo Silva is the Portuguese change.
Yeah, I think it's understandable, I suppose, in that Bernardo Silva's not an out-and-out winger and beats people. Probably prefers to play, we see, centrally and get on the ball, but because you've got Neves, you can see there now he's gone for a different option. Super talent to have to bring on, though. Can beat people, score goals, good low centre of gravity, bit more dynamic.
Cristiano Ronaldo a little too eager to get the second half back underway. So we've had 12 headers in this World Cup so far. 2 of them this match. 1-1. All to play for. Will have been a shock to the Portuguese system with the last touch of the first half.
Absolutely, yeah. Sometimes when you have lots of possession, long jigs up, long sense of security, especially at 1-0, they weren't really in any trouble. The lack of physical presence in the box was evident, wasn't it?
It was to Samuel Fernandez, the referee happy for play to continue. First touch for Conceição. Hope that the Juventus squad that failed to deliver Champions League football for next season. Araujo. Comfortable for Masuaku. Kayamba. Just under new deal at Watford. Nice touch from him there. Here to Sam. Cow out here to Wan-Bissaka. Bamba, who's showing the effects of that late challenge in the first half. Cow, Wan-Bissaka. Goal kick.
Nice and patient though, wasn't it? Confidence is up. Good kick there. Right decision.
Pedro Neto. It's Bruno Fernandes in support. He's got Ronaldo in the penalty area waiting for a cross. And it does come. It was towards goal. Conceição. He feels he was impeded.
Yeah, I'm not sure there was enough in it. No, nothing there.
Masuaku back to Kapady. Finds his football in the Polish top flight. Hitting the foul.
The Congo boys have done alright, they've grown into the game, got more confident, their link-up's been good.
as well. The flag was up in any case.
If it was times on a yard, but good play. Yeah, maybe.
It's good defending from Capani to dispossess Conceição. It's a Portugal throw. Neto's gone for a return. He's scored a goal in the last 20 Premier League games for Chelsea. At the end of the season, Pedro Neto.
No, I think for a player with his ability, his end product should be much, much better.
I think is the formation of the new rule. 5 seconds for a goal kick, it went over that. So therefore, Portugal get the corner. This will be interesting, nothing comes to this. So Portugal at this end conceding from a corner. Can they threaten from one? Fernandez's ball rank. In towards Ronaldo. Just slightly behind him.
Good defending, very well. Always like to see him get some corners. See if the defenders are switched on. They certainly were there, actually, really good.
Conceição. Lofted in by Vitina. Away by Wan-Bissaka. Ronaldo. Into Nuno Mendes. Excellent defending again. Transaidi that time.
Super defending from Transaidi there, really was. Against Mendes down that left-hand side, causing problems.
There he is again, goalkeeper. Always the favourite.
Just switches off when Bissaka gets inside him. Yes, great defending, pair of them. Vardy there as well.
Stays in the hanging back this time. Goalkeeper. Ronaldo. Bringing Coutinho back into play. Now Cancelo. Lofted in by Fernandez. Oh, brilliant. Flat. Red card. Cancelo's denied his moment. Flag straight up.
I don't think there's any offside there. That's the one. Chester Neves. Right decision. Brilliant finish.
Macau has sent in the Congo. And here's the deflected cross. Means that DR Congo have their fourth corner of the game.
You can see the disappointment in his face. Understandably, after scoring such a wonderful goal. It was the right decision. Yeah, set play in DR Congo. Probably playing this short after getting it in there.
And it goes from Masuaku, the forehand of Vega. Martinez, but he's only given it to Wan-Bissaka. Macau. Useful. Just the first touch of Congo laying down. The left foot from the Congo. Portugal just breathe a sigh of relief here.
Yes, so strong, wasn't he? The corner pushed Bruno out of the way. I don't know whether the referee actually gave a free kick after all. I don't think so. Really unlucky, smashes off the post. So strong there, wasn't he?
First change with DR Congo needs no introduction after his sensational first season in the Premier League with Sunderland. To replace Macau, Anwar Siddiqui. 35 appearances in their run to European football.
Yeah, he's had an outstanding season. Great energy. Always willing to have the ball as well.
A very smart £15 million well spent.
Incredible.
Just been told that the referee did give a foul.
Boy, did.
Genuine push back by Congo.
Yeah, that was harsh.
Pedro Neto for Portugal. Mendes has stayed down. Garcia was told to put it out of play and then didn't. Despite hand injuries, he's holding his leg.
Well, the ball's out of his ankle there, but he's still just straightened out a little bit. Not sure why he stayed down for so long. There's the offside. Easy. Need to up the game a bit, Portugal. Speed things up, get the tempo going, a bit more urgency in their play. Maybe think about putting a second striker on alongside Ronaldo, taking a midfield player off.
Nuno Mendes is back up. There's much discussion down there about what happens next. Congo are going to give the ball back to Portugal. It's the Conte Sal to chase. He's got Portugal a corner.
Yeah, you see that little bit of speed to running behind. Maybe the guy was sort of in that on that right hand side when they made the change, but we haven't seen much of him yet.
Portugal's third corner of the game. They're still waiting for a cross to try and make something of. Mendes with it. It's put comfortably by DR Congo. Back from Cancelo. And harmlessly back.
It's a tall ball in from Mendes, to be honest.
Got a lot of options on the bench, Martinez. Got some wonderful talent on there he can call upon as and when he needs. They're struggling at the moment to make anything happen.
Good defending.
Very good losing out. Just enough. Sadiq.
They did really well there with the pressing. They hunted in packs and they were close to each other and they got nice and tight. Rather than what we saw in the first 20 minutes where they're just sitting on 5 and 10 yards and can't get near anyone.
Nicely the Portuguese team. Towards Congo, got a very good touch on that. The second one could have been profitable. It was.
Well, the worrying thing is they win both headers. First and the second. No real presence apart from Rudiger.
Luis Diaz in that situation.
Exactly. And the leadership qualities around it, the organisation.
Absolutely. Neto's on the march. So strong from that, comfortable from passing.
It's unlucky for me, it's a little bit straight. Really, when you hit those balls wide as wingers, you want to be diagonally up. It's too straight, it's going to run away, run out normally.
Pass this out. It's a Portugal try. Slight depressing from Portugal. Ball's coming like a party, and it's a Portugal throw.
The hesitation, but I think you need more risk. Risk the ball more, you can turn it over a few times, win it back, not a problem.
Fernandes, you could hear Ronaldo from here shouting Bruno.
Bruno tries it, he doesn't mind giving the ball away.
big strengths. He takes responsibility. A few of the others need to. Cancelo's not putting balls in the box every time he gets an opportunity. Turns it down.
Conceição. Away by Mbamba. Francino Mendes drilled Pedro Neto. He's got it back though.
Didn't look like a foul, that one. It's good defending again.
Quickly in towards Ronaldo, but comfortable from Pasta.
What's a ball? Nearly.
Portugal by one shot against their goal.
Well, that's credit as well. DR Congo, well organised, well disciplined, great work ethic, close distances. Takes a lot of concentration. Can they keep it going as the game goes on and the fatigue kicks in?
Neto. He can't make any progress. Trying again. Challenged by Kalimba. Kalimba then committed the foul. A few little signs of Portuguese frustration here.
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. He's having to stretch the old calves, Kayemba. He's put a shift in, that's for sure. Might see a change there soon. Not sure why the ref was running over with such urgency. There was nothing there, just a little coming together.
This claim had just been spoken to by the official from Qatar.
Everyone's a tough man on the pitch. We all thought we were tough on the pitch. When you get Neto on, someone's in there. So it's when you see who's tough or not. It certainly wasn't me.
That's when you were at your paciest.
Yeah.
Conceição. Now the space for Conceição. He's found Ronaldo.
That ball from Conceição, really tall, right, too far behind him. And too quick. Gets himself in a wonderful position here. Plays it too fast, just behind him a bit. Kicks it onto his left foot, Ronaldo. I don't think the ball was good at all. Needed to be a bit slow and patient. He could just wrap his foot around it.
You could hear the collective crow all around the Houston Stadium. So it remains 1-1. The second hydration break. So England begin their campaign against Croatia later this evening. Remind you can listen to that on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. And then straight after the final whistle, head to the iPlayer live reaction show. Chatters with Wayne Rooney, Joe Hart and Micah Richards. And you can scan the QR code, have your say with the BBC Sports player rater at the moment. Who has stood out? Well, let's have a look with Olivier Giroud, because Olivier at the moment, DR Congo is standing out, and it's not the script everyone expected.
Yes, I would like to see maybe Rafael coming in and bringing some craziness on the side, if I can say, like this skillful player, you know, and yeah, some more percussion, because it's true that they shot only one time since their goal, so they need to create more danger, you know, on the side and more cross maybe, and yeah, so change. I don't know. But yeah, it's time to bring some people in.
Thank you. Yes, indeed, Rafael Leao, one of many options. Gonzalo Ramos is on there. Guedes, of course, who had such an impact in the last tournament when Ronaldo didn't start. The tactics board is out down there for Roberto Martinez. They need to find another gear here, Danny.
They do, and I think Olivier's right. I mean, Leao would be a good option because he's got the ability to beat people. When there's numbers, you need players who can go past people one-on-one. I'd like to see a little tactical change and play 2 through the middle against the 3. Occupy them more. Take one of the midfield boys off. They've got plenty of possession anyway. And then they can get some more balls and play into the front 2 more. When you've got one, it's much more difficult to get the ball into him. They're not making chances, so yeah, sometimes a tactical shift. We can see down in front of us something's going on.
I'm not sure if the BBC feed is down on the Portuguese bench because Olivier Giroud has his wish. Rafael Leao is coming on. So too is Nelson Semedo. Double change from Roberto Martinez. Pedro Neto, the man to make way for Leao. And Nuno Mendes departs for Semedo, which means that Cancelo will come across and play at left back. Semedo's first appearance, incidentally, in a World Cup, despite making his debut 11 years ago, and this being his 51st cap. So freshness will have the desired effect for Portugal.
Well, he had to do something because it was a bit flat, wasn't it? Personnel change or a formation change, one or the other. He's gone with the personnel.
Here's Leao, he got a couple of goals in the last World Cup. Following that disappointing Milan team this season. Double change being prepared from DR Congo as well as they look to add more energy. Semedo. Araujo. Fernandes. Can't stay still. Ronaldo! Portugal want the corner.
Good move. Moved the ball much quicker. It's a better pullback as well from Conceição. Looks like it should have been a corner. Can't quite tell off that replay, but yeah, much more incisive that move. Sharp run, good play, quicker. Really difficult to defend against. Good bodies again there though for DR Congo.
Keep on getting it. Keep on getting it.
As they rings around the stadium, and this double DR Congo change takes place. Kalimbe Watford apart. Kalimbe Racing Genk comes on alongside Kawasu off. Charles Tickle, the Swiss ball player who plays for Espanyol, is on in his place.
He's doing very well on the ground. Keep them on the ground, not in the air.
Wan-Bissaka in ahead of Leao. João Alves to win it back. Bruno Fernandes. Into João Alves. Into Sammy. Able to bring it clear for DR Congo. We might have a break on here. Ooh! Araujo with a very important interception.
Yeah, he's just pulled up his hamstring as well. That's cramped or what, but a bit of tiredness out there now.
Conceição. Saino there to help him. Here is Semedo. Trying to find Ronaldo again. Stretch leg of Twanzebe did the job. Vitinha. And they hit that blue wall and it's put out of play by Kapani.
Tempo's gone up. Speeding things up again. The defence is really good at the moment. Shape looks good. Distances are small. So when those crosses come in, there's always a blue body.
Portugal have their fourth corner of the game. Over 68,000 inside this stadium. Very large proportion of them willing a Portugal goal. Fernandes corner. Taken easily by Ntasa. Now, Congo on the charge. And they've got a 4v3 here temporarily, DR Congo. It's Sadiki. He knows he's got Vista as an option, but Congo.
Great break. And they find their top goal scorer. And he can't find a target. It was a tired finish, wasn't it? Understandably, he's worked so hard up there and he's done well. But that was his opening and he just couldn't set himself.
And the 35-year-old opportunity. They are up against Wan-Bissaka. It's come through to Conceição. That's them defending again. Mukau that time. Wan-Bissaka to bring it clear.
Good play. Good from Wan-Bissaka. Good from Bakumbo. I think they can be really proud of their performance this evening. This afternoon, sorry, I should say. Irrelevant of what happens now. I think after conceding a goal so early against a team of such quality, you do fear for them, but the way they've composed themselves, their work ethic, organisation, discipline, the coach deserves credit as well. He didn't panic. The front two have been a threat.
Pickle out to Wan-Bissaka. Struck to Sadiki. It's been strong for Bakumbu.
Yeah, I think he's better keeping the ball. He only had one option in the box there against three defenders. Sometimes just know when to keep the ball, let the team get up with you.
Big quicker from Portugal. Fernandes finding Conceição. And it's a Portugal free kick carried by Kapani.
Yeah, it was a transition, wasn't it, from Portugal? Good break.
It's an offside here, you know.
It was tight. was a good ball though, wasn't it, from Fernandez? That's the type of breakaway you want. This is the chance again. He actually gets good power on it, just doesn't open his foot up enough.
Siddiqui. Gonzalo Ramos, the PSG striker, is readied for the last 10 minutes here for Portugal. Ronaldo trying to put Tuanzebe under pressure. Leao. Cancelo with the delivery. Again, the tenacity of DR Congo. Wenger always the favourite there.
It's brilliant defending again.
Vista quickly into Bakumbu. Back to Vista. Siddiqui. Kayambi's cross needed more quality and composure.
Yeah, he mishit it, didn't he? Trying to take it third time. It's a great breakaway. Again, good play from the Congo. Really impressive. Just needed that little bit of composure there, Kayamba. Just to take a touch and have a look for the options.
Conceição. Against Kayamba. He stood his ground.
Yeah.
Conceição was laughing last.
Does well, he's nice and strong there. Takes the ball well. I have to say, the three centre-halves for the Congo have been outstanding. Kepade, Bemba and Tuanzebe.
So it's Coutinho who's sacrificed to allow Gonzalo Ramos to come on.
Yeah, I'd have done that 15 minutes ago. 7 minutes.
PSG player for another. Got them 3 goals in the last World Cup, Ramos.
Just felt like it was crying out for more options higher up the pitch, and then you can get some knockdowns and wide players get a bit more space because the three centre-halves have to narrow up to mark the two. It's
good effort. Clearance has found its way to the Congo, and that was a particularly tight shot. The flag was up in any case.
That wasn't tight effort, wasn't it?
There's 2 substitutes ready to come on for DR Congo. One of them is a striker, Simon Banza. Again.
Well, there's not many better defenders in the world at that tackle than him. That lunging right leg, that long right leg, he wraps it round and he somehow comes out with the ball. He does it so well.
So Simon Banza, who plays in the UAE, to get his 16th cap. He has come on for a very tired 35-year-old Cedric Bakumbu, who was given everything.
He's been outstanding. Both front players have been good. Been a threat, the pair of them. worked really hard defensively. I mean, for his age, great energy, great fitness.
Wan-Bissaka has also been replaced by Gedun Kalulu. He plays in Cyprus. He's the brother of Juventus's Pierre Kalulu.
This would be a huge result for them. I think too many people coming to the game today who supposed to expected this.
Certainly not after the Portugal goal after 6 minutes either. They're known as the Leopards, and they base that on strength, power and resilience, and they've shown plenty of that today.
We certainly have. We certainly have.
A little over 4 minutes of the 90 remain here in Houston. Sloppy again for
Yeah, a
Portugal.
little bit sloppy. Getting a little bit desperate now. What animal would you describe yourself as, Steve? What animal would you describe yourself as? A lion?
Might have to sleep on that one. I suggested you want to do the next game with me in Seattle, and you don't answer, of course. Less is more. Ramos. Rafael Leao. Again, no way through.
Patient. Solid. Really good. Remember that time, I think.
Portugal scored in the last 10 minutes of games 3 times in the last World Cup. Not showing too much hope of doing so here yet. In the first one of this World Cup.
Well, they won't panic. I mean, they still feel very confident with the.
Cancelo. Passing had to hold that and did.
Yeah, they've got. Now there's some space for them.
Bissa. Smalling knows what's coming.
He's up sharp, Bissa. I mean, he should be. He's had a lot of time to get himself fit, but there's a lot of talk in early season that he didn't look up to speed and fitness and coming back from that injury. He certainly does here. There's the save. Right passing.
Any spill, and he might have been in trouble. Twanzebe. No foul. Banza. That's for Conceição. Goalkeeper's high and improvised and classic. Siddiqui now. Kayemba. Vesa. Congo believe there might just be a little more than a point in this for them. Portugal play next here in Houston against Uzbekistan. He takes his team to Guadalajara to face Colombia. Fernandes. Can't Passed away by Twanzebe. And then the shot out. Gasly looked as though he had that covered.
Yeah, it's decent effort from Bruno Fernandes, again taking responsibility to try and make something happen for his team. He's been the most likely all afternoon really with his passing. This time decides to take it on himself, just pulls it a tiny bit with his left foot. Keeper's over there anyway.
5 minutes added on. If there is to be a winning goal. Conceição up against Kayamberger. Semedo on the overlap. Left him short. Fernandes delivery. Ronaldo jumping. It's come through to Leao. Congo throw. Oh, it was Charles Pickle
getting himself in a pickle.
Yeah, with a Portuguese substitute down there.
He's lucky because he did try and put his arm around him a little bit. Couldn't quite see, but ref was in quickly.
Oh, that was ceremoniously stopped in his tracks by Romo. Yellow card for the Benfica defender.
Does well again, doesn't he? Oof. The right arm, wasn't it? Just to make sure he caught him and stopped him. That's why he's holding his neck. Although Portugal haven't been quite at it, can't take away from the performance of the Congo. So much of their play has been good. Offensively, they've had a go, got out, made a few chances, had more efforts. Defensively, they've been absolutely outstanding. To a man.
Portugal goal kick. We have a little over 2 minutes of stoppage time remaining. Semedo for Portugal. Semedo. Excellent work from him. And he thinks he's got the corner, he has. Off Kayembe.
Could be the last chance, looking for a shot. Not going to go short.
Sure. Well, if he's anything to do with it. In from Fernandes. Great take again, coming past him.
He's still going out for it now.
Final minute of stoppage time now. Bruno Fernandes. That's gone through to Vista. And the Congo fans are very excited. Simon Banza with him. Conceição, but he lost his footing.
He did really well there, this, to find that energy and that burst and that speed to go past the players he did there. Shows how good his fitness levels are. I think there'll be a lot of Newcastle fans watching this game. Happy Dio.
Not as happy as those supporters, because after 52 years away from the World Cup finals, the Leopards of DR Congo have their first ever World Cup point. And they did it having conceded inside the first 6 minutes as well. Johan Visser has that historical first goal that makes it a day to remember for the African nation. And it is only a point to start for one of the pre-tournament favourites, Portugal. But this is all about DR Congo. One down after 6 minutes. They only, of course, in the 100th minute of the playoff against Jamaica made it to the World Cup. Over half a century since they last played here. And they have held Portugal here in Houston.
Guide. All channels. 1. BBC 1 Unreal. Today. 2. 3. ITV 1. FIFA World Cup 2026. England and Croatia. 20-23-40. GTV Terrestrial.
Amid the noise of everyday life, the flow of people going here and there, football and the World Cup dominates every conversation. On the street, in the offices, and everywhere in between. The volume of talk around England peaked with 2 appearances in the Euro final and a quarter-final and semi-final under Gareth Southgate. Now it's Thomas Tuchel's turn to see if he can take this team one final step and reset a clock which has been ticking for 6 decades.